Welcome to Flickering Myth Games. Gerald. Jesus Christ. I can't use that.
That's my professional face.
I was just going to keep trying to go with it, but it just cracked me too much. Okay. Welcome to Flickering Myth Games Chat. This is part 3 in our series of talking about video game-based movies, video game to film adaptations. We talked about
We've discussed the best.
Yep.
We've discussed the worst.
Yep.
Now let's talk about dream projects and the ones that are upcoming that are probably going to be just as trash as the ones on the last list.
Yeah. Okay. I gotta be honest. I don't know what's upcoming.
Okay, I'll give you a quick rundown.
Okay.
And you want to talk about dream projects first, or you want to go ahead and talk about the garbage coming out?
Let's talk about the garbage coming out. I think that's the better place to start, and then we can get into wild speculation and our dreams, our hopes and dreams.
So I'll start with Sony is a video game company. Sony is also a film company.
Mm-hmm.
And
allegedly,
they release movies,
and whereas they have been paying money for IP and such left and right, they're like, oh shit, we've got a ton of it over there. It's just called video games. So we've got the Uncharted movie coming out, starring Precious Angel Baby
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland, that's his name. Which is it's gonna be precious.
It's gonna be trash.
Look, Action Twink needs his work. Let him. He was in that amazing movie I saw this year called Chaos Walking. He had muscles. He did things. He can grapple hook. I don't know how you play.
He's smart. He can do things.
every person watching this, I need you to do me a favor. Go on Twitter right now at Tom Holland and tell him if he doesn't change his Twitter header to Action Twink, he's out of the club. He's done. Done.
Well, like Tom Holland's probably a good actor, but I hate his Spider-Man, and he is doing nothing else to endear himself to me.
Nathan Drake is a character that's based off of Nathan Fillion, like straight up.
Yeah, but then
played Uncharted.
Yeah, very obviously. But then they went to make a movie, and they were like, maybe we should get somebody that has some kind of charisma. You heard it here first, folks. I hate Nathan Fillion.
I've been in a strange situation where I've had to watch a lot of Supernatural lately. Don't ask. And the guy with the buzz cut on that show, I was like, you know what? That's Nathan Fillion if he had a little bit more depth to his character.
You're absolutely right.
So they could have gotten him, but they were like, nah, get the Spider-Man boy. He's just a Sony contract worker now.
Yeah, that's fine. Here's the thing. Naughty Dog games are fucking boring, and they're already just movies that you push a few buttons through anyway. So why the hell not? Take the full leap, just let Stralian Druckmann or whatever their fucking names are.
Yeah.
Just let them produce some movies, because that's all they want to do anyways. Want to waste my fucking time making 30-hour movies.
I like 3 of the 4 Uncharted games and 1 of the 2 Last of Us games, so I'm not going to be on the same boat you are. But yes,
are they also the Days Gone people?
No, that's a different team altogether. Even though Sony wants you to think they're the same.
Okay.
So you're right. Like Uncharted, it's Indiana Jones is all it is. It's like, Indiana Jones.
I'm honestly way more interested in an Uncharted movie than I am in sitting there pressing buttons on an Uncharted game.
And that's fair. That's absolutely fair. I still maintain Uncharted 2 is honestly a very, very good game, but it's mostly set pieces. So how that translates to the film will be fantastic, because that's all it is. As long as they put the time and effort into it, Uncharted can be a top-notch film.
Sure. Okay, they're also doing a Last of Us series.
They're doing a Last of Us series for HBO Max from the minds behind Chernobyl.
A very good show. Very, very good show. Very, very, very good show. I was surprised by it. It was horrific in its moments. They're good people. I will defend this as I think it's a good idea, especially a series. Would much rather see a series than a movie.
Mm.
I just thought this game was a goddamn mini series already.
It is. That's the problem. Like, this is one of those games that when you were talking about Naughty Dog being all, "No, it's just a movie where some button presses," that's The Last of Us by
Yeah.
all means. And I like the first The Last of Us because of its story. So if they just do that and put it on screen, fuck yeah, I'm in. But I don't know how well that's going to translate, but we'll see. I'm here for it. And
It fits
it's got some
HBO because everyone's unlikable. That's my problem. I don't like the Last of Us games. Everyone sucks, and I know that's a common complaint about 2. I have the same feelings about 1. I don't like Joel. I hated his character. So I just don't know what I don't know. I just it we'll see. The
I,
actors they got are good. So
I liked
yay.
watching the bond between Joel and Ellie in the first game. I really did, because he was unlikable, but you started to see him soften up, as he, kind of saw her as a daughter as they progressed. And then, of course, it led to what happened at the end of the game. And then you're like, oh, wait, that's right. He is just an asshole. So, it was actually good character development and then deconstruction. That's why I like that game. But I don't know how that's going to portray in a mini series, but we'll see. I'm here for it.
Yeah, sure. I'm not here for that one, but okay. Is there anything else upcoming that we're
Oh
missing?
yeah, there's one I have to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay. All
One I
right.
have to talk about. That's Eli Roth
Ooh.
presents Borderlands.
Uh,
One of my favorite game series, and it's not because of the story. It's because it's Diablo, but with a first-person shooter. I just get my loot and I go on.
Yeah, as somebody who loves Diablo, that's like, and first-person shooters, that's still like not a sell to me.
Right.
Like somehow
And no,
that still
I
like
honestly
completely
think
breaks for me.
I think if you put some time into it with someone who's already beaten the game and just like handed you the controller and said, go, you would have fun. But if you had to go through the plot and all that, you'd hate
Yeah, maybe. I'm not giving Randy Pitchford any money anyway.
it. That's also fair. But the thing that I love about Eli Roth's Borderlands, I can't let that go from the mind behind Cabin Fever, is that like this cast. We've got Kate Blanchett. We have
I have the full cast up if you want it.
Oh, please hit me.
It is Kate Blanchett, Kevin Hart, Jamie Lee Curtis, Jack Black, Haley Bennett, Edgar Ramirez, and Ariana Greenblatt. She's playing Tiny Tina. She was Little Gamora in the Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah.
She's a really good actress, actually. So,
never have I heard such a mishmash of people that made me just go, I don't want to watch this. I like a handful of those people too, and I'm just like, I don't want to watch this. Like, never mind what the plot is. You feed me that cast list, and I'm just like, no, I don't want to see these people interact. What is Kate Blanchett doing? Like, this is the worst support, like, cast surrounding Kate Blanchett since Bandits. Like,
and her second Eli Roth movie, so she must like him.
Yeah.
What else was she in?
She was in his family film with Jack Black called The House with Clocks in Its Walls.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I forgot that was him.
It was a cute movie. It was exactly what makes me think of the 80s when horror directors would do kids movies and you'd be like, what the hell is this? Yeah. Very that. It's very Amblin, which is produced by Amblin as well. So yeah, very good film. I like Eli Roth a lot, and that's what pains me because it feels like they are blatantly just throwing source material, and I'm definitely not one to care about source material. I thought this game had a story that people would want to see-ish. To do it a complete 180 feels odd.
Yeah. And I mean, don't get me wrong, the story is not bad for the first two games, especially since they are apparently leaning a little bit on the Handsome Jack stuff, which Handsome Jack is a fantastic video game villain from the second Borderlands. But this cast and this movie with this director based off of this game is the most fucked up thing I have ever heard of in my life.
Clusterfuck. I like
it's a goddamn train wreck. Like, of course I'm going to be there opening day. If I can beat the person up and get some press passes, I will be there for that. But it's going to be the worst thing ever. There's no way it can be good. There's absolutely no way this can turn out good.
Eli Roth continues his trends of making movies where I'm just like, but why? Like, I don't think, like, I like Eli Roth as in interviews. Yeah. And then, like, I haven't liked a thing that he's touched creatively, apart from, you know, acting in Inglourious Bastards. I haven't liked the thing that he's been like a creative helm on since Cabin Fever. I didn't like Hostel.
I was going to say,
I'm a Green Inferno fan, but
I didn't see that. I did want to see that because I am like an actual fan of Cannibal Holocaust.
It's a good homage. Yeah, it's a good homage to that. It's like a Cannibal Holocaust you would want to watch because it's not actual, like,
you don't actually yeah.
And I will say that the last thing I watched from him was Knock Knock, which I recommend to everyone.
Was Knock Knock Eli Roth?
Yep. Yeah. His wife was in it at the time, his ex-wife now, but she was in that movie with Ana de Armas.
That movie. So. That movie looks like an upsetting time. Like but
it's fun. It's upsetting, but
it's
fun.
A 90s erotic thriller, and we don't make 90s erotic thrillers anymore, so
yeah. Okay. But yeah, this movie sounds like a clusterfuck. It's like it's got Randy Pitchford stink on it, being one of his IPs. It's got this whole cast.
And one of your favorite producers, Avi Arad. I think that's how you pronounce his.
Oh my God, he's still alive.
I know. I love
Toy Biz guy is just making movies now. we just kept letting him do that. Jesus.
Yeah, so I just had to add him to your list because I know.
Was Akiva Goldsman the scriptwriter?
I literally was looking for him on this movie for you, but no. No, funny enough, it's the guy who did Chernobyl as well. So
okay, great.
But also the writer of Scary Movie 2 and 3. So we're right back at it. Never mind.
We're rounding it out.
Those are the best ones, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought.
Yes. Okay. Any other upcoming ones before we get into our dream projects?
Nothing really worth talking about because they'll probably get canceled before this video comes out. So. Apparently, Netflix has got a Mega Man project in the works, but
their Castlevania series is pretty cool. They have an animated series for Castlevania. I really like it, and it's like it's close to the games and stuff. It's a cool series. I give finish
watching that, but I liked the first season of
it. It's high camp. It
knows what it should be.
Yeah,
it gets it. It's good. Okay, dream projects, guys. Dream projects. What are some video games you absolutely think would translate well to movies or shows? You know.
Okay.
Not to get too wild.
So let's picture this.
Okay.
We are on Mount Olympus. We have Kratos fighting people. It is an epic battle. It's starring Dave Bautista, directed by Zack Snyder. I want Zack Snyder's God of War right now. Oh my God, give it to me.
You know, I didn't want anything like this until just now. Like, I'm in.
You sold me.
Yeah.
I just think like Bautista has grown as an actor, and after watching the Army of the Dead trailer, I definitely think Snyder and Bautista need to work together more. I feel like they speak each other's languages, and Snyder does good with Greek mythos. He likes this high camp. Give him, something like the nightmare sequence, or not the nightmare sequence.
He loves shirtless, like really well built
it's
men.
oily
like
men. Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about the newer one, which would be a good because he does like father-son relationships as well and stuff. So like maybe the newer one, but I'm talking the first God of War
Yeah,
game.
do some raging weird.
Yes.
Like do the raging stuff. Don't
Yeah.
give me like meticulous slow build and I actually like the God of War game,
No,
but
yeah.
I don't
And like
want that movie. I want the
that
wild raging
first
movie.
game has the slow motion built into it already for
Yeah.
Snyder. I just definitely think the aesthetic, because I would say the aesthetic I have in my head is the gods battle with Darkseid in Justice League, the new one. I don't know if Jared would have seen it, but that's the aesthetic I see for this, and I think he needs to do a movie like that. It's very 300, but go straight for these mythos that you keep referring to. And I think he would be fun with God of War. It's a very pretentious thing, but it's a little campy, which is kind of his wheelhouse. So yeah, I think that's the one when you said this, I was like, oh my goodness, he would do so much fun with this.
What a call. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't say anything that's going to top that. I'm sorry. Like, of course, there are some that I would love to see and some that were supposed to happen that never did that I think would have been great. Like, who's the guy behind there's that stupid movie with the pirate Johnny Depp guy, that first director?
Oh, Gore Verbinski.
Gore Verbinski was supposed to make a BioShock film,
which would have been, he did A Cure for Wellness, which is a cool aesthetic.
Yeah, and that was pretty much his answers to not being able to do the BioShock movie. But God, I would have loved to have seen that. Yet again, going back to like games that are pretty much just movies anyway, fuck it, just Metal Gear Solid 1 through 3. Make those movies.
They have been working on him. Jordan Vaught Roberts was working on it for a while. He did Kong Skull Island. He's been around for a little bit. A cool director.
I've been hearing that for the past 20 years, man.
Yes. He's been on and off it, but I think that is a prime material. That is something that would do it good. And I'm surprised a lot more like the Tom Clancy games never really made it to film, like Splinter Cell and stuff. Like, I can't believe that never made it to a bigger adaptation. That seems like 40-year-old white dads would love it, but also the 20-year-olds will love it. I feel like that has mass appeal to just men. But
if the Hitman series wouldn't have been such garbage as far as movies went, we probably would have seen a Sam Fisher on the big screen.
Yeah. Oh my God, I forgot. I cannot believe we forgot to talk about. I didn't see the second one because, of course, and I barely saw the first one because, of course. My favorite thing was like in an interview. I think maybe it was on Nerdist or something years later. Like somebody asked Timothy Olyphant if he'd ever do a Hitman sequel. He said, "No, I'm still in my house." Yeah. Jesus.
What about you, Alan? What comes to mind? Is there a game that you like a lot that you would like to see?
No. Games I like a lot. I don't know, because like there's been talk off and on, and there's been rights like bought and passed around for like a Metroid movie, and that could be interesting.
That's on my list, and I have a director I would like as well.
Yeah,
I would like Catherine Bigelow. No, Catherine Bigelow, I think would be a really fun. There's the military aspect of it. There's the female lead. I think Metroid. I had specifically Metroid Prime. I'm a GameCube kid, so maybe that. I think that has a good story. Yeah. Metroid would be really, really fun. My problem is I think they would first Dread movie it, and we would see way more of Samus in Zero Suit Samus than we would in the suit, and that would be a problem because they would cast, I don't know, Brie Larson or something.
Yeah. I mean, I could be okay with that. I said John Woo because he owned the rights at one point.
Ooh.
Yeah, that would have been bizarre.
The other slow-mo king, yeah.
But like, no, like Nintendo games, no, I wouldn't want any of those. I don't know. I'd kind of kill for an F-Zero movie.
Actually, yeah, like a Captain Falcon origin story.
Yeah, Some
I would like
shit.
to see a Zelda series, maybe even an animated series,
Mhm.
but I feel like they're because I mean I've been playing Breath of the Wild, which is a game I can play endlessly. I don't know if I could see the story in a movie, so I just thought Zelda because maybe after Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, I feel like we're always looking for our next high fantasy series or something like that.
Yeah.
And I think there's something here. There's good characters. I think both of your faces told me that I don't think it can translate.
Yeah, I'm a huge Zelda fan, and I just like I don't know. I don't know if there's anything there for
Don't take
like
anything with a silent protagonist and make
yeah,
that a game. Period. You just
yeah.
can't.
That's
Like
fair.
the moment you try to assign a personality to Link, who's always just been a cipher character, it's
Yeah, and some of the best games just don't have very like personality driven personality driven characters. Um it's like that's why you can't really do a Doom movie.
yeah,
Like the
yeah.
Doom movie, like I would love to see like a demon slaughtering movie, but like, and sure, throw the Doom name on it. But like the things that's good about Doom is like the power fantasy aspect of you being in the character. Um, what? Okay, okay, I've got two. I've got two, and these are dumb. And maybe I have a third one as a caveat. One, I would watch a Devil May Cry movie.
Yeah.
I'd watch a fucking
I would
Devil May Cry movie.
Oh
Like,
my goodness, I would want that now. I do think that is coming. It's because it's owned by the same people who do Castlevania, right? I believe it's in the same
No,
something
no,
because
no,
I
that's
know
Konami.
because
yeah,
I do
Konami
think
owns that.
Netflix is doing an animated series like they did with Castlevania on it. So I do think it's
Oh
in the
yeah, yeah, I
works
forgot about
or
yeah,
something. I
that
remember
did come
covering
up.
it. And
Yeah.
I think a series would be better for this, but I would love it. These are good stories and I could see people would love people would
They're
love to go
ridiculous
into it, I
camp
think.
like over the top,
Yeah.
and as long as somebody got that, as long as people got the camp aspect of it, like they do in the Castlevania series, I think it could be good. But yeah, I'd be interested in that. I'd be interested, and nobody's going to do this because nobody wants to go back to this series at all. If people even remember it, Monolith, uh, Monolith, who they make, I think they're owned by Warner Brothers now, and they've made like the past couple of Mordor games, like they made those games, which I was not really a huge fan of. But back in the day, they made a shooter on the build engine, the same engine as Duke Nukem and everything, called Blood. And
Hmm.
Blood is just like you play like this. You were a member of a cult, and then your cult like turned their back on you. The weird like elder god that you worship like killed you, and then you rose from your grave and you came back and had your vengeance. And it's like set in like the 1930s, and you got like he's just like spouting one-liners, but he's spouting like Army of Darkness one-liners. You have to come up with your own with new one-liners for it. Um, but that could be a whole lot of fun. Um, and my third one tangentially to that, loosely connected, and it's much of the same thing where you would have to actually come up with new material instead of having him spout Roddy Piper lines from They Live. Do a Duke Nukem movie. I
Nope.
mean,
Nope. I remember that was the rumor for the longest time, was that there was going to be one,
yeah.
and Duke Nukem would be played by John Cena.
I was gonna say after I see him in Suicide Squad as the Peacemaker, maybe I could see it.
I would watch this. There's no way it would be good. Like,
No. Mm-mm.
but I would watch it. Like my dream projects in games are like make a shitty thing because like what else am I gonna expect? Like is there a game that I can think of where I'm just like that would be good? No, make a piece of shit that understands that it's a piece of shit at least,
Now I have one, and I have a prop to show that you might be surprised by that I think is a good game with a good story that could be adapted very well. You need the right people, you need the right format. I think this would make a very good movie and or series. I love Knights of the Old Republic. I'm not a Star Wars fan, I feel like every Star Wars movie is the same Star Wars movie, but I feel like this would be different. This would be with the best parts of Game of Thrones with the political kind of drama. I like that. I that's my favorite things about the prequels. I love the goddamn Senate meetings more than anything. Like I love watching people just talk, and I feel like Knights of the Old Republic has that. I think it could work, and fans have wanted this for years. I can't believe I own this original Xbox game, so I feel
Yeah,
like I can sell this online for a lot of money as well.
maybe.
Mm.
Yeah, that was good. That was BioWare before BioWare sucked.
Oh yeah.
Which happened very shortly after that. Fight me about it. Fuck when I said that. As soon as they sold themselves to EA, it's all downhill. It's all trash. But yeah, no, I would watch that. Of course, I mean, I'd watch any Star Wars, as I've proven, despite the fact that like I hate it. I don't hate Star Wars, but like I hate Star Wars.
I've
But
always
I'd
felt
watch
like that was one of the games that I remember being almost just as popular as the movies were in the
Oh yeah.
terms of fans.
Oh yeah,
People really love this, and that's rare to
people
find.
attached to that one.
Where like I like Spider-Man games, but other than the Marvel one that just came out recently, no one's like, "Oh my god, that is just as good as the movies." And I always felt like people really liked this game, so I have to give it a little shout out because I actually do enjoy playing it. And again, I'm not a Star Wars fan, but the story, this type of story, invested me, and I would like to see it adapted some way somehow.
So I will say that I love that game. I don't even like Star Wars,
Yeah.
but I love that game. I don't think it could be a good movie, and that's because, and I'm not spoiling shit. This game's old as hell.
Yeah, it's like 20 years old almost.
The twist that you were chasing after yourself for Darth Revan, there's no way that I think you could pull that off in a film. And yeah, there's twists and everything, but when you're actually the one going through those motions, playing that character out, trying to find out what's going on and having to actually piece things together through what you find just to find out, oh, I'm the shithead. That's a different story, and I don't think it would translate well.
Yeah, I hated Looper, so yeah, don't do that.
The last two I'd mention myself are going to be Christoph Gans. We talked about previously with Silent Hill. He has gone on record saying that he wants another shot at Silent Hill, and I say fucking give it to him. Fucking give it to him. Whatever you need, but this time just hand it to him and walk away. Don't fucking let him do what he wants. But the second franchise that he wanted to work with, I don't want him to do it. And the reason is because it's Fatal Frame. Now,
I love it.
those are some of my favorite games just because they're so, the atmosphere is fucking killer in the Fatal Frame series. And the reason why I wouldn't want Christoph Gans, even though, yeah, I think he could do a good job with it, but no, I want a Japanese version of those games because those games are so rooted in like Japanese lore, Japanese towns, and it's such a Japanese feeling game unto itself. Like, yeah, most games we've talked about are made in Japan, but this feels like Japan. So I feel like this has to be like, get someone who's done a Ringu movie on it or someone who's worked on the Ju-On. Give them Fatal
Takashi
Frame.
Miike, great Japanese director Takashi Miike.
Yeah, let them take it, and it'd be so good. You can release it with subtitles. Americans can read.
Yeah,
some of us.
Now, you brought up Japan. We talked about Metal Gear. Do we just give Kojima a movie? Is that what he's just really been screaming for?
That's what he's going to do anyway. He's already said that Kojima Productions is not just a game production house.
Because I would have loved Death Stranding as a weird movie that I was just like, yo, that was a trip. I hated playing the game. Like, and I know the game's probably really good and all that, but I like the story. I like the cutscenes. I would watch like a YouTube video where you just put the story together and I'm like, oh, cool. I like that universe. I didn't really like the gameplay. That's kind of how I feel about some of his games sometimes where I'm like, as maybe PT would have changed it for me. I wish that would have came out and I would have got to play that. It was such a good demo. But yeah, I would like to see what he could do. He's the one that I don't know what I would do, and maybe I just want to take someone from games to give it to the movies, but let him write a weird script. Let Denis Villeneuve direct it because he likes Dune and Blade Runner. Those two together would make a 4-hour movie. 4 people would watch, and 3 of them are here. So I think that would be fun.
I would rent the theater out for that.
For the 3 of us and 1 other guy.
Hit us in the comments below if you want to be our 4th. But no, I fully agree that would be amazing, just to give him a script. Give him a good editor.
Yeah.
He's going to need a good editor.
Yes.
But-
yes. God damn.
Don't
Give him a
introduce him to
script.
Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
Those two do not need to be friends. The movie will be like an 8-hour series. Like,
Can't find a good editor between them.
But
All right.
I mean, and that's why I said, Metal Gear, because he was kind of reeled in a little bit on those Metal Gear games. So Death Stranding was just him being handed a blank check by Sony and said, "Go make it."
Yeah, the eternal mistake of just being like, just taking somebody that did really great creative work under certain limitations and just being like, what you need is free reign, and then they make that. Though
It was my
I
favorite game of
liked-
2019.
I actually like Death Stranding, not enough to finish it, but that's most games for me. But I actually enjoyed it. But still, like, bug nuts. Like, all right. Any other thoughts before we get out of here? Before we wind down this marathon session talking about video games?
I would love to see an Injustice movie and or animated film, the DC game Injustice. It's Zack Snyder was doing it basically with his stuff. They're very similar with his Superman and all that. But I really like the story as a DC fan. It's one of my favorite like Elseworld stories. I don't think it ever happened, but yeah, I just wanted to throw it out. Maybe an animated series or animated film like the other ones. That would
Yeah,
be
they
fun.
can do an animated film like that, so I can ignore it like all of the other ones. Because as a Superman fan, I hate that story. Love those games. Great, good time.
Yeah,
That
they're good
story
games.
does not do anything for me. Anyway,
Yeah, that was my final thought.
thanks for joining us. If you haven't watched the other 2 videos, go check out our best of and our worst of video game
Somewhere up there.
adaptations. Yeah, that'll be right up here somewhere in this general on some card.
One of our corners.
Yeah, one of these corners. Let us know what you would like to see. Let us know what adaptations you want. I know that tonight I'm going to be sitting around and being like, fuck that.
Oh, yeah.
I want to see that.
It's going to be fantasy booking game movies all night.
Yeah, so definitely hit us up in the comments down below. We'll have a big old conversation about this. The things that are upcoming that you want to see and the things that you wish would happen. So drop that comment down below, and we will see you in the next Flickering Myth Games chat.